I am joined by Madam Girija Subramanian, CMD of New India Assurance. Thank you so much, ma'am, for talking to ET now. Ma'am, just want to understand, because yesterday only IRDAI has come up with a big development where premium for senior citizen will be capped at 10%. So according to the New India Assurance, how big development is this? And of your overall portfolio, how much is the health portfolio, and in that health portfolio also, how much is the share of senior citizen?
Yeah, so thank you for this. Yes, the initiative from the regulator is welcome, and we are already, very much compliant with this, in the sense that we don't have any plans for increasing premium, especially for senior citizens, for more than about 10% any year. Having said that, our New India's entire premium for health contributes around 50% of our book, and out of that around 80-85% is from the group health scheme. The balance is from the retail, and out of the whole 50% portfolio that we have, a large part of it, around 65-70%, is from the senior citizen group.
Okay, so can we say that in overall book of New India, which covers all the businesses, senior citizen premium contributes a very big chunk, and it will be around 25-30%?
Yes.
Okay. So ma'am, so you're saying that in September you have taken a hike in insurance premium in a few policies. So going ahead, any plans for increase in health insurance premium?
As of now, there are no plans, but obviously the price depends on the experience of the book, and even the earlier price increases have been basis the experience only. We have not charged anything more than what the experience has been for New India, and any price increase is dependent on the service that is expected from the insurer, and the service largely depends on the hospitals and the service delivery. The TPA charges have been made to the bare minimum wherever they are applicable, and mostly it is the charges on account of hospital billings and hospital charges which have not been stabilized or standardized everywhere. So some kind of regulation or some hospital regulation, if it is there, and if the prices could be standardized, if we could bring service delivery at an expected price, then I think the pricing will be more stable, will not require these frequent increases other than only for the experience, and the experience fully again depends on the hospital costs.
So any kind of hospital regulation can bring down the overall insurance premium, you want to say that?
Definitely. Any regulatory authority being formed for a hospital or for the medical services here, which are impacting the insurance premiums, will surely bring more stability to this line, and a lot of relief to our senior citizens who need this insurance the most.
Okay. Ma'am, if we talk about your Q3 results, we have seen a muted numbers in the top line and bottom line also. So this is due to the long-term premium accounting changes, or some sort of measures you have taken which is reflecting in the results?
Actually, for the industry, growth itself has been pretty low this year, and it has, as per the GI Council numbers, for the whole industry, it is around 7.82 for the 9-month period ended December, and for the general insurers it has been around 6.85, and even from that perspective, New India's growth has been much more muted, because we have taken a lot of effort in bringing down or writing businesses, removing businesses from our portfolio which are not making, which are not viable for us to continue. Whenever we have discussed pricing on these large contracts, and we have and come to a decision on what is viable for New India, and wherever we have not met the client's approval, we have left such businesses, and that is why you can see the change.
Okay. Yeah. So going ahead, we'll see healthy numbers, you mean to say that, because you are shedding away the all loss-making businesses?
Yes, we are doing it with a concerted effort, and it will continue like that. We will surely see that the book of business that we write is priced appropriately, so that we are fair to all our policyholders. When it comes to claims payment also, we are able to meet them without any struggle.
So all your investors and shareholders who are disappointed, they should keep in mind that the results will be seen going ahead.
Yes, I have been consistently, communicating to our very valued investors and stakeholders that from the last more than a year now, New India is on a correction mode, and we are, totally focusing both on the top line and on the bottom line, and therefore there is a lot of correction in the way we are doing businesses. We are bringing in a lot of cleansing in our operations, bringing in a lot of processes that will bring in more accountability in terms of client service, customer service, in terms of meeting the regulatory compliances. So when we do all this, there's definitely going to be some shuffling that happens, and numbers, our top line is getting affected to that extent, but we are very, very sure that we are on the right path, and in the long term, New India is on the road for huge recovery and will chart a very profitable and progressive growth going forward.
And ma'am, from 1st of October, we have seen that the accounting norms IRDAI has changed for the long-term policies. So that has impacted New India. How much is the share of your premium for the long-term policies?
Actually, long-term accounting has been there, one upon an accounting has been there for long products, for our long-term products in motor, which is the biggest bulk of the business that we do on a long-term basis. So that has not impacted us because it's already in force. As regards other policies like health and home, on a long-term basis, it's a very insignificant portion that is there, and therefore this policy has not accounted New India at all.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, from 1st of January, there is a steep increase in property insurance pricing. So how much hike New India has taken, and what will be the impact on the overall portfolio because of the hike in property insurance pricing?
Actually, there is not a steep increase in the price. I would like to correct that. It is just trying to bring back a pricing that was there a year ago. So, at a year ago, prices were at a more viable level, more sustainable level. And then suddenly last 9 months has been a watershed for property where discounting has been at it, has held a foray there, and we have found that property insurance has been most unviable. And property insurance is heavily reinsurance driven, and when we have been discussing with our reinsurers, across these global conferences, wherever we meet them, we have been very strongly conveyed this concern for this kind of a watershed, and the fact that they are not going to support this going forward, and we can definitely stare at very huge pricing increase in reinsurance covers if the correction is not made, and I believe the same messaging has gone down to everybody, and therefore that we can see the market hardening for property, and if this and I think this is a very healthy trend because we are just bringing back the pricing to what it was a year ago. So it's not that there's a big price increase or anything, it is just being made more viable so that we are able to provide this protection of property insurances to all our insureds. It is so important, this class of business. So much of our industry and our development agenda depends on this cover, and therefore having this in place at viable levels for all concerned is very important, and I think it's a very welcome move that is happening today.
My last question would be related to the GST on health insurance premium. So what are your suggestions to government GST council, because being a market leader, the biggest player, and in a overall non-life space also, and in a health insurance premium also, and what you have suggested to government, and according to you, how much impact it will bring if GST gets reduced to 5% or 12% on health insurance policies?
Yeah, actually this is a very sensitive topic, because any cost that is that is payable gets actually loaded on to the customer. At the end of the day, the senior citizen at after the job retirement is already in a place where the health issues are paramount, and they more often than not they have those need for mediclaim more than anybody else, and at that point in life when you already are vulnerable to health issues, you have to pay a heavy premium which is charged by insurers basis the cost that the system charges for the service, and therefore apart from that, something in the range of 18% GST is very heavy. for any senior citizen to bear, and therefore it is definitely required, and it's a need of the hour to bring down the GST at whatever levels the government feels is appropriate to rein in some of the costs that senior citizens have to pay, because ultimately the cost is a very paramount factor, and when it goes out of control, then obviously the senior citizen will go for lower covers or suboptimal covers, and then the purpose of insurance is not satisfied, is not met to the 100% effect. So I would rather propagate and my personal view is that senior citizens should be totally not be charged any GST, so that they get the full benefit of the cover, and insurance companies will definitely pass on whatever the difference comes by way of GST to the customer. That is surely there, and at least from New India's side, this is definitely there. We will pass on the full benefit to the customer. From the industry side, this has been taken up very strongly by the GI Council, and we are very hopeful that we will hear some good news soon on this front.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.